Alrighty, please welcome Ken Case from the Omni Group.
Here to share a little bit about who we are at the Omni Group and to hopefully let you know why we think we can help you accomplish more every day. At the Omni Group, we've been developing for the Apple platforms now for, since 1989. Only we didn't call it the Apple platform back then. How many people are familiar with the Next platform that Steve Jobs started when he got kicked out of Apple? So we started out as Next developers, and that was not because we disliked anything about what we knew about Apple. It was because I really believed in a platform that not only spoke to the users and made the user experience rich like Apple was doing, but went one step further and also built it on a more solid platform. Something that was Unix-based, something that had permissions in the operating system, separation between processes, and so on. So we worked for many years just trying to help Next survive. And we were about ready to give up in 1996 when we heard the news that Apple had now acquired Next, and suddenly we had a number of customers that were out there. Next in its whole lifetime maybe sold, 50,000 of their workstations or less or fewer. So we celebrated. We got out of the other contracts that we were starting to do because we had just about given up on Next ourselves. It didn't seem to be going anywhere. And the next thing I knew, it was January 97, and I was down in San Francisco at a Macworld conference learning what this community was like, and I learned I had a lot to learn. But it's been a great experience for us, and we have learned a lot. What really motivates us, though, is using computers and technology as a tool to help people accomplish more. I, of course, enjoy doing other things with computers. I really related to yesterday's talk where he was talking about being a young boy and looking at, hearing about computers and thinking, well, maybe I'll get to use one of those in college, these big room-sized things that you feed cards to and you get printouts from, and so on. But as we know, it turned out that now everybody has a computer on their pocket, maybe even on their wrist. Certainly I had a desk back somewhere to get some work done. So we started building apps that would help people accomplish more. Earlier this year in January, we had an astronomy conference in Seattle, and I heard from one of the speakers at that conference that they were using Omnigraffle in one of their presentations, and they wanted to come talk with us about what they were doing and explain how what their use case was and so on. It turned out the woman who was contacting me was Alyssa Goodman. She is a professor at Harvard. She was a distinguished professor of Harvard a few years ago. And this was the diagram that she made, which I'm afraid is a bit too blurry on this screen. My apologies. But it was called The Path to Newton. And she was communicating in there how Newton, there at the very end of this chart, didn't just come up with the rules of physics that we know, the laws of motion, all on his own, that they were all built on these earlier discoveries through time. And she used this timeline to communicate some of the correct things, some of the missteps along the way, and thousands of years of history. And there were different layers of quotes and so on. But she just wanted to share with me that this was something that she had built in Omnigraffle, and she was presenting it at the conference, and it really, how much easier it was to do in Omnigraffle than anything else that she had tried to use before. They were then translating it to a website because, of course, this is not the end point of the whole thing. All of these things have hypertext links to the Wikipedia articles and so on, because it's meant to be an educational resource. But it all started out in Omnigraffle, and all of those links worked, the layers worked, and so she then handed me a rolled up piece of fabric that had this entire chart on it that I could then bring. I really should have brought it today if I thought ahead about that. But it was just an incredible example of somebody, using these tools that we live with all the time to accomplish things that would have been, taken much, much more time beforehand. So that's what we do at Omni, is we just try to make tools that empower our customers to accomplish more every day. We have Omnigraffle, which is the diagramming app that was used there. We have Omni Outliner, which people use to organize books or dissertations or take notes, or attorneys use them for legal notes and so on. We have OmniPlan, which is for project managers. It's for building Gantt charts. My dad was a scheduler at Boeing, and he would come home with these rolls of paper in the evenings and start marking them up. And so one of the first programs I wrote actually was related to helping him make that go faster. And then, of course, a lot of our customers know, a lot of people know about Omnifocus, which is our personal productivity sort of to-do list on steroid. If you have a simple to-do list, you don't need Omnifocus. But if you have a to-do list that is miles long, hundreds or thousands of items, Omnifocus can help you hide the items that you can't work on right now and get out of the way. So that's our products. Thank you for your time.